Hey, gang. Hey, so good morning. This is kind of a special edition, if you will, of our Monday motivations, and this may be going out to our FHR agents in general as well. So if you're seeing this on one of our other formats and you're not a future home agent, then you can choose whether or not to listen to this or not, or anything specific to how to handle business would be between you and your brokerage. So don't want to mislead anybody there. But um, as the broker owner of Future Home Realty, I wanted to get some things out. It's today is March the 15th and 2020, and obviously a lot of us are involved right now, or kind of hunkered down, maybe some in a waiting or a holding pattern for what's going on with this coronavirus and everything else. So, a couple things I just wanted to hit on, and kind of housekeeping, as well as some maybe motivation, some ideas of how to bide our time, or things that maybe we could turn this into a positive, right? And look at ways that we can improve ourselves in this time period. So, um, first of all, in dealing with people, I've heard a lot of talk and people asking about whether they should continue to do open houses and all this. I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm going to leave you to use your best common sense, follow and listen to what people are telling you, the people that are in the know, are telling you to do. I'm a firm believer that a lot of this is, common sense is a lot of hand washing, a lot of sterilizing, a lot of making sure things are clean. But certainly, if you are in a position where either you're vulnerable or you're going to be around people that are more susceptible to this, then certainly take the necessary precautions you need to take. Our offices are open, but I'm going to ask you to please use, common sense too there. If you're not feeling well, or if you've been around people that aren't feeling well, please don't come and bring that in. We get our offices clean, but there's no need to be there. We're really blessed to be in an industry where we can do a lot of things remotely. I'm going to touch on that in a minute, but so just please, again, use common sense. I've been a big hand washer for a long time, and will continue to be so, even more so now. So being just conscientious of that would be great. Also understand this, that I get that different people have different levels of a vulnerability based upon who they are and who they may be forced to be around or need to be around in cases. So take that, and respect that amongst other people. If some others are a little more anxious because they are in situations where they may be around certain type of people, or that they have friends and family members who are in that vulnerable category, then understand that, right? And be cognizant, and be aware, and be certainly not judgmental in any way, and allow them to process the way they need to process, right? So we certainly don't want to uh, assume anything amongst other people, or think we know other people's situations fully. So in that, be considerate when interacting with others. Again, if you're going to do open houses, that's totally fine. But if you do so, make sure you're using common sense, right? I wouldn't be hugging and loving on people and everything else. Or if people are coming in, they're not looking well, just say, hey, you can, you know, say, hey, look, you know what, I'm going to let you go in and look. And I have this discussion with your owners. If it's owner occupied, they may not want people in their house right now. So all that, just again, be conscientious, be aware, be considerate, and be smart is all I can say. Now, here's some things to do. Now, if you get a little bit of a downtime right now, take advantage of this. Sometimes we look at it and we see that, oh, my life is so hectic, and I'm running like crazy all the time. Well, guess what? Can't take kids to school. We can't do certain other things. So maybe go revisit some things. Kind of, let's pretend like we live in Walnut Grove again. But here's some ideas. I've always been a reader, but I'm going to continue to read. And I just got 3 new books in from Amazon that I'm going to pour over in the next week or so. So I encourage you to, if you haven't read in a while, go back and do some odd things like read, and hopefully not on your computer or tablet. You can do all those things, and that's great. But I'm going to teach you. I'm going to not teach you. I'm going to encourage you to have some balance in what you're doing here. That you balance your binge watching time with your social media, which should be very little right now, because you're going to hear all sorts of things there, to actual old school type stuff, so you're not constantly on a computer. I say that as I'm talking to you on a computer, but that's all right. So read, find something new. All right. How about this? Learn something new. Now you can go on YouTube, and it's amazing what I'm learning. All sorts of historical people that I'm following, and teaching me different things that are out there. So learn something in history. I don't know, something you've always had an interest in. I've never had the time to learn X. Maybe it's a DIY project. Learn how to do something around your house. Um, relearn something that you should have learned in school that you never really quite got, right? It's good for our brain to keep things moving. Here's one, all right? This is something my son Samuel and I have been doing quite a bit. Go for a walk, go for a bike ride, play some frisbee, go out and get some fresh air, right? I'm outside right now, and now I'm not going to go hang out with a bunch of other people outside, but I'm going to go and make sure I'm getting fresh air, and I'm getting my exercise and all those kind of things. Here's Fix some things around the house. You've been looking for time to that piece of the fence needs done, or I need to repaint something, or whatever the case may be. Take advantage of that time and get some of this stuff cleaned up that you've been meaning to get to. Here's what organize. So how about some closets? How about your desktop on your computer? If that thing's needed to put things in certain files and get that done, real files, actual paper files, your database, maybe go revisit that. Take a look at your database, some ideas that you can work with that. Here's one in our business. How about revisit your listing presentation? Right? Go visit is that needed being cleaned up? I've been wanting to find some time to clean that up. So do that. Your listing plan of action. What are you going to do when you list a home? How am I going to go about that? How's the most effective way, especially with this new, got to have it on the market within 24 hours rule that they have. So how am I going to just take some time to strategize a little bit? Investigate ways to conduct your business more remotely, right? Maybe this is just a leading us into a certain thing, a certain way of doing business that might be better off for us in the long run. So investigate. I know there are title companies out there that have e-notarizing now, that they have ways that they can hyper confirm who's on the other end, and through video conferencing and everything else, and literally virtual remote closings. And watch a lot of we've been blessed that we've kind of been on the cutting edge of this. Not that we were preparing for this, but we've always had a bunch of our classes online that every time we teach, we put it online. So we've got a slew of courses on FHR University. I'm going to go back and encourage you to do that. If you always wanted to bone up on your listing paperwork, or your, really understanding the contract, and so on and so forth. So finally, like I said, we've always been on the cutting edge of virtual learning and ways to conduct business. So just keep an eye on the FHR calendar. I'm going to try and avoid too many emails, but keep an eye on the FHR calendar. We'll update and do training that's online, as we've always done, but it'll be available. We have virtual office hours 3 days a week online. I have grow sessions online. And we'll keep you posted as to that. So anyway, just wanted to keep your chin up. Everything's okay. Make good, smart, sound, wise decisions, and take advantage of this time to really recenter, and maybe do some things you haven't had time to do before, or you felt like you hadn't had time to do before, and take advantage of it. So as always, anything we can do to help, reach out and let us know. Jim, myself, Maureen, the team, we're all available via phone. Our offices, like I said, are open, but please be considerate if you're not feeling well or have been around those that haven't. So as always, have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you again at the end of this thing. But just wanted to give you that update from us, and some encouragement, and ways to move forward. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great week.